What's happening? Welcome to the 24th floor. Got a jam-packed show for you today. It is NBA schedule release day. Mike Wallace of Grind City Media will give us his 2 cents on what we know of the Grizzlies' schedule so far and what is to come in the NBA. High school football also back. The MSCIAA Jamboree begins tonight and tomorrow. Wendell Shepherd tells us who the heavy hitters will be on the high school football field this year. A lot to do, little time to do it. 24th floor starts right now. Joining me on the show today, he's the senior editor, contributor, and analyst for Grind City Media, host of Grizzbeat, host of HBCU Huddle, host of the Warm-Up Show. He's an award winner recognized by the APSE, the NABJ, NAACP, and other acronymed organizations everywhere. And, of course, an all-around ball knower. It is the one, the only Mike Wallace. Please clap out there in TV land. Mike, what's happening with you, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to be here, man. You didn't have to go through all of those pleasantries, man. I thought you was about to get to some trouble I've made along the way, too, but
you know
it's all good, man.
I was looking for it all. So maybe he's an Emmy winner. I don't know. He's recognized by a Peabody Awards or whatever else. Yeah. Hey, man, big day. Schedule release day. Obviously, for you guys, you got a whole slate of things happening this afternoon. What goes on for you guys this week?
Man, it's just when you look at the NBA schedule, and the NBA has done a great job of making this a news day, right, or news week, because it's been trickling out for the last 3 or 4 days. You got, the new Peacock NBC affiliation, Amazon Prime affiliation, and then ESPN being a legacy partner there. So they've been all trickling out, getting their opening week and Christmas Day slates and MLK slates. And now the rest of the team, the rest of the league gets all 30 schedules released this afternoon at about 2 o'clock Central Time.
All right, let's check it out, our big idea for the day, because schedule release day is the big idea. We get the entirety of the NBA schedule. So far, we do know who we will see on opening week and what Christmas, the NBA Cup, and MLK Day looks like. When it comes to the Grizzlies, still a lot for us to figure out. We do know the Grizzlies will be in Europe January 15th and 18th to play the Orlando Magic. That'll be twice. Here is the NBA Cup schedule with the Grizzlies in West Group B. They do get the one primetime game on Amazon Prime against the LA Lakers. The Mavs, Pelicans, Clippers also on the docket, November 7th, 25th, and 28th. 2 of those games on the road. Mike, kind of your thoughts on what the opening week schedule looks like. We're going to see what it looks like for the Grizzlies specifically, but for you, the big idea of the whole thing, what stands out?
What stands out is legacy makers, right? Mm-hmm. So the opening week is going to be a lot of Lakers, LeBron James, Luka Doncic. You're going to see Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. You're going to see Kevin Durant in a new area right now with the Houston Rockets. And then obviously you got to pay your respects to the defending NBA champion, Oklahoma City Thunder. So they're going to basically bombard the opening week of the national TV schedule. The Grizzlies aren't there, but they will have a very special opening night game that's going to be coming up. And as you can see from what you've shown, the NBA Cup, that West Group B is one of the most loaded groups in terms of competition that we're going to see. So the Grizzlies will have a front-loaded schedule. All of those games are October, November that you've shown so far. The Lakers on Halloween night, you can't get it any better than that. Friday night, Halloween night, LeBron James and Luka. What a matchup right there at FedEx Forum.
What do you think about what some of these teams look like now in this new era? We had a lot of movement in free agency, especially the Lakers, and then especially, of course, you got the Oklahoma City Thunder who are trying to kind of re-up. Yeah. And it kind of seems like they just said, let's just run it back. What do you think about some of the movement that's happened so far?
The continuity of Oklahoma City, they're one of the youngest NBA championship teams that we've had. I think the second youngest in NBA history. So all they had to do was lock in on all their players. Everybody signed their max extensions. That team is going to be together for the next 3 to 4 years, right? Houston is chasing them at number 2 right now. You look at what Denver did. They made a trade sending Michael Porter Jr. to the Nets and getting Cam Johnson. So that was a very, very sneaky, underrated trade that I think is going to pay big dividends. So the West is going to be loaded from top to bottom. The East is just opportunistic. What teams can take advantage of Boston being injured without Tatum and Indiana being without, their point guard and Tyrese Halliburton? Who can jump up? But the West is loaded from 1 all the way to probably 12.
Yeah, the East is interesting because obviously Boston was kind of head and shoulders above everybody, or at least it felt like it until the Tatum injury. Now it seems like they're kind of in a wait-and-see mode.
Yeah.
Indiana, they were good all year, but nobody thought they were going to be the team really until they got into that playoff run. Now it seems like, okay, what are the Knicks going to do? Because this seems like if the Knicks are ever going to win a championship,
it's now.
Now it's time to do it.
Now.
What are the Cavs going to do? What are the Hawks going to do? They've got Kristaps Porzingis now. When you look at the Grizzlies' schedule, and it is revealed about 2:15-ish this afternoon, what are you looking for as a guy who covers this team, and what do you want to see from the Grizz?
You know, one of the things that I historically have looked forward to first from the Grizzlies schedule is the MLK weekend, right? Who are the Grizzlies playing that weekend? Who's coming to town? And then after that, you look at the big names. When do they play the Lakers? How many times does Steph Curry and LeBron James at this stage of their careers come to FedEx Forum? That window is getting shorter. They're heading towards retirement pretty soon. And then after that, you know, are they going to be traveling on Thanksgiving and Christmas, or are they going to be closer to home? The longest road trip, the longest homestand. Those are the things that I sort of prioritize. And obviously, opening night. That's always a fantastic night to see the newness, the new beginnings, and the reset.
Obviously, the holidays, I think, for you guys are always so funny because it's like, all right, can I plan to be here for Thanksgiving?
That's exactly.
Can I plan to be here for Christmas?
Yeah.
Am I going to be here for New Year's? Like, you guys never know until, like,
it was a selfish
this
thing.
week. Yeah.
It's more selfish than strategic.
I wasn't
right?
even asking you professionally. I was asking you personally, my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think about the Grizzlies NBA Cup group? We know we've known what the group is going to look like for a while, but now, when we find out what the schedule actually looks like, how many of those do you kind of pay attention to specifically?
Well, obviously, when you talk about the Lakers and Clippers, those are two teams that you haven't been successful against recently, right? The Grizzlies went 0 for California last year, right? In terms of how
it was like 0 for 7, 0 for 8, something like that.
0 for California last year. So the thing is, the Lakers are a team that's been, you know, a big brother to you, a big uncle, right? You got to get past them. The Clippers are loading up for a championship run. Dallas has Cooper Flagg, the #1 overall pick. They're going to be a tough team. They are absolutely going to be really good. Are they rebuilding, or are they reloading for another playoff push deep in the playoffs? And then the Pelicans are way in the back right now. They're starting over from scratch with Joe Dumars taking over the running of that organization. So there are 4 different teams on 4 different tracks with 4 different kind of personalities, and it makes for a compelling group.
How many primetime games do you think the Grizzlies get? It's interesting, I think, for me to ask that question because obviously the 2023-24 year was just a disaster, and they were kind of coming off a number 2 seed, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the following year, you have a team that's really, really good for the first half of the year, and maybe they deserve more primetime games, and then they kind of fall off a cliff there towards the end. How many primetime games do you think the NBA blesses them with, I guess?
You know, when you look at it and you factor in the fact that Amazon Prime, obviously NBC and Peacock, and then you still have ESPN. So those are 3 major partners that's divvying up a lot more games, right? So I would say, the Grizzlies should come in somewhere between 8 to maybe 10, somewhere around there. They're not going to be on the marquees because we've already seen the marquee games come out.
We have.
So now it's everything else, the midweek type games. But because you're going to be playing in the West, you're going to be playing against Kevin Durant and the Rockets, against LeBron James and the Lakers, against Oklahoma City. You're going to end up in national television games because of the other team that has to be shown. So I think that benefits the Grizzlies, and they'll probably get somewhere between 8, 10, 12, somewhere along those lines in national games.
All right, for sure. And then kind of going back into the NBA Cup just a little bit, what do you think about you've got a Cooper Flagg in there now. What do you think about that kind of West group that they have? Do you see those stars becoming stars quickly, or or even with the Lakers, Luka, LeBron dynamic? Like, what do you think about some of these storylines that have come up out of these teams?
Yeah, it's going to be, for Cooper Flagg, he played really, really well in Las Vegas. We were out there, obviously, for the Vegas Summer League, and, he had a 30-point game, and then they shut him down. He's going to be everything that's been advertised, I think. He's going to be the guy. He's not Luka right away, but he's going to align himself along with Luka's production in short order. So I think they're going to have a lot to look forward to. We talked about Houston. The other team we haven't mentioned, even though they're not in the B group, but they are in the Southwest Division, the San Antonio Spurs. To me, the Spurs are the most intriguing team in the entire NBA.
Yeah.
They can be in the Western Conference Finals, or they can miss the playoffs. That's their variance because of what they have. But they're not going to be down for long, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But hey, you look at these teams right now, every night in and night out, the Grizzlies are going to have their hands full. They're going to have to bring their A game, and they're going to have to get healthy. Big fella's got to get out there at some point. We know he and Jaren Jackson Jr. might not start the season on 2 feet together at the same time. But eventually, these guys got to get out there and hit the ground running.
Quickly, how important will it be for them to get off to a good start? You mentioned the big men not being there.
Great question.
Start of the year, at least.
And that's the one thing I'm looking at. What do these first 20 games of the season look like? Not only the health of Jaren Jackson and Zach Edey, you got to question whether they'll be ready for that. Isolo is beginning his first full season now. Are they going to be ready for that? You got as many as 4 rookies or second-year players that are going to be getting in the rotation early. Are they ready for that? So that first 20-game set is going to be key in terms of how well the Grizzlies get off to a start.
Mike Wallace going to be a busy man this afternoon as we wait for the schedule release this afternoon. I appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good luck
sir.
for the
Yes,
rest of
sir.
this afternoon. Good luck for the rest of the season when it comes around. We will see you soon. Let's get to a little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk some high school football. Beat writer Wendell Shepherd tells us what to expect at this week's high school football jamborees. That's coming up.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24 Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24 Plus. The 24 Plus TV app. Streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24 Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain.
Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. Those storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
How big that storm system was.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 24 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24 Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene, faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24 Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Morant and Kool-Aid announced a collaboration on his Ja 2s, the Ja 2 Kool-Aid colorway, also known as the Mixed Berries colorway. Morant gifted pairs of that colorway to the Jet Academy at the Nike EYBL AAU tournament at the Memphis Sports and Events Center this weekend. But they are not the only ones. Drew Hill was also gifted a pair of Ja 2 Mixed Berries.
This is by far the best promotional item that has ever been sent.
Go ahead and bring them out. Let's bring them out. Let's see what we.
So first of all, in the top, we gotta appreciate the oh yeah.
Oh
here.
yeah.
And I also want to say to Kool-Aid, by the way, I hadn't drank Kool-Aid in like 15 years. After these showed up, I went. They put some packets in here.
A couple packs, yeah.
I went and made Kool-Aid, and it was just as delicious as it was when I was younger.
You obviously are a Melrose alum yourself. What would you say about the talent from the track side of things that can come out of Memphis? We talk so much about the basketball talent that comes out of this town, but from a track perspective, what do you see as you do this year after year?
Actually, we have 2 gold medalists out of Melrose. My teammate Sheila Eccles was the one that gave Flojo the baton in 1988. We were teammates at Melrose. And then Kennedy McKinley is a boxer. So to be able to have 3 Olympic gold medalists, we all walked the halls at the same time, along with a now NBA champion and a couple of Super Bowl champions. And so we're like, hey, we're the home of the champions for real. You know, we produce stars. And you know, it's just an honor to say these are my friends that I grew up with.
The first thing I thought about when I heard that was, I wanted to ask, how much time has Stephen A. spent realistically in Memphis? You know, did you come down for a game and hop a flight right after, or have you spent actual time? Do you know people in Memphis? That was my question.
Welcome back to the 24th floor. Time to talk some high school football, the most wonderful time of the year, and so I'm bringing some more help. Joining me on the show for the first time, he is a Missouri School of Journalism graduate. For those of you who don't know your journalism schools, very prestigious, very highbrow. An Emma Bowen Foundation fellow, a high school beat writer for the Commercial Appeal, and again, an all-around ball knower. It's my guy, Wendell Shepherd. How you doing, man? Good?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, of course, of course. You've been here, what, about a year? One full year?
A little over a year,
What did you think about your first full year doing high school football and high school sports here in Memphis?
A lot of fun, a lot of learning. It's a big area to cover, but there's a lot of talented athletes here, a lot of fun stories, so I enjoyed it.
All right, well, we got to jump into this jamboree. The Memphis Shelby County High School Jamboree begins tonight, runs through Friday night. Get a little taste of the high school football that is to come now through December. There are games at 6 different sites tonight, 5 games tomorrow with some of the best teams in the area. My guy Wendell, where are you going to be? Who's the game you got to see here in these jamboree?
I'll be at Crump Stadium tonight, Central and Southwind. Southwind moving up to 6A this year. They're playing an old 5A opponent, but I think both teams are going to be interesting this year just because Central doesn't have Hayes Wright graduated. Quarterback of the last couple of years, his little brother's taken over, and Southwind, Kelvin Perkins, obviously Mr. Football winner, Mr. Football finalist last year. I think they're going to make some noise in 6A. They got a lot of talent there, so I'm looking forward to seeing them in action.
For Southwind in particular, Kelvin Perkins, obviously a Mr. Football winner. What was it, 2 years ago? He was a finalist again last year. Do they bring back a lot of the same talent that they've had, or is it this kind of a new crop of kids?
They were a pretty young team last year. Last year was kind of their rebuild year, if you want to call it that. They have a lot more veterans this year. To answer your question, yeah, a lot of guys that they brought back, or that they're bringing back from last season, especially on offense. Last year they kind of had to run the ball a little more, didn't have the same kind of high-flying, deep passing attack that we saw. Perkins was running the ball a lot more, but they have a lot of talent at receiver. Defense are going to be solid as well. So I think they're among the more veteran teams in the area now.
And then you mentioned Hayes moving on, graduating. He's in the highlight reel that we just showed kind of right there. What do you know about his little brother? Same kind of arm, more of a dual threat? What can you tell me?
I think sort of an unknown at this point, from what I could tell. Tall, just like his brother. So I think that'll be interesting, and it's kind of Central and Munford there at the top of that 5A region. So they'll be interesting to watch.
Just going to pull up the full screens we've got. We can give you a picture of what the games are going to look like. Here are your Thursday games. Cordova versus Fairleigh. That'll be at Cordova Stadium. Central versus Southwind at Crump. Overton, Germantown, and East High are going to be at Halley Stadium. And you see 3 teams there because they kind of play the Jamboree schedule. They kind of play like a quarter running clock, right?
Yeah, against each team.
Kirby, Mitchell, and Middle College at Kirby Stadium. Whitehaven, Mace, and Kingsbury at Whitehaven Stadium. And then we get to the Friday games. It'll be Hillcrest, Westwood, and Hamilton. Douglas, NBA, and Manassas. They'll be at Crump Stadium on Friday. Oak Haven, Raleigh, Egypt, Trezevant, I can never get that right, at Melrose Stadium. Please forgive me, y'all. I did not do it on purpose. Wooddale, Trezevant, thank you, producer Rich. Wooddale, Sheffield, and Kip at Kirby Stadium. And then Craigmont, Booker T. Washington, and Bluff City at Halley Stadium. One of the things that you mentioned that you were really interested to see, we talked a little bit about in Southwind going up to 6A. 6A Region 8 here in Shelby County is a bloodbath every single year. What can you tell me about what that region looks like this year?
It looks a little different because you have 9 teams now playing in Memphis teams in 6A. They've split up the regions to where Region 7 now is also a Memphis region. So that's kind of your old Region 8, which is Houston, Arlington, Bartlett, Carterville, and I'm forgetting one there.
Whitehaven.
Yeah, and Region 8's Whitehaven, Germantown, Southland, White Station. So it's pretty interesting. They've split it up now, which will be good as far as whoever makes it to the playoffs, they won't have to play each other immediately. But I think Region 8 is going to be particularly interesting because you have 3 pretty veteran teams in Germantown, Whitehaven, and Southwind with tons of talent. And I think that'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously, in the other region, you have your old rivals, Houston and Collierville. I think are going to be the top 2 teams there. Collierville, only team they lost to last year was Houston. And they new man at quarterback, some new guys elsewhere, but a lot of talent there in Houston. Obviously, the kind of best era of Houston football these last couple of years. All of the stars of those teams, with the exception of Celly Davis at running back, all of those guys are in college now. So I think it's really anyone's game in either region, I think. It'll be really fun to watch. And Houston, Germantown, week 1, no longer a region game. That'll be a really fun one. Still, from talking to people on both sides, it's still rivalry very much so, even though it doesn't count in the district standings anymore.
Yeah, that region always is super interesting. I mean, really 6A is really super interesting to me because it seems like you have one team that comes out of there every single year. It's been Houston the last couple, but even the 2 years before that, it was like okay, well, if Germantown beats Bartlett this week, then they're going to be one.
Yeah.
Or if Collierville beats Houston this week, they'll be number 1, number 2. It's just kind of interesting to see how that pans out every single year. And obviously, the region gets split up just a little bit this year. So it'll look a little different, but those rivalries aren't going anywhere. Like, we kind of know that's kind of the case. Other pair of teams you were kind of interested in looking at, I know you're going to be at the kind of the private school version of the Jamboree on Friday. You really want to see what Christian Brothers and Briarcrest and North Point kind of what they got to talk about this year.
Yeah, so it'll be at St. Benedict. They're hosting North Point, Christian Brothers, Briarcrest. And I think Christian Brothers, Briarcrest, those D2 AAA teams, along with MUS in that region as well, I think are both kind of looking to prove themselves. Christian Brothers made the playoffs last year, and I believe they have 33 seniors this year. So a very, very much a veteran team. And I think Briarcrest, there's a lot of talent there. Hudson Tucker at quarterback. Plenty of other kids on that offense that, are getting college interest. And I think they only won 4 games last year. I think they're a lot better than last year's record showed. And I think those games are always rivalries with those Memphis teams in that region. But I think all those teams are really looking to prove some stuff this year. And I think Briarcrest, I think they'll win more than 4 games this year.
How do you evaluate the private school scene here? Because I know we see it kind of in other regions of the country where like a private school will almost like recruit. And it doesn't seem like it's all the way that way here in Memphis, but we still have some pretty good teams. And then there's some years where they're really, really good, and there's other years where it feels like it kind of falls off. I think MUS is a good example of that from 23 to 24. How do you evaluate the private school scene?
As far as like the moving around goes, it certainly seems that there's more public school to public school movement. I think the private schools here are all really strong programs. You see them play some of the public schools, and they either are winning or put up a pretty good fight. I think it's just that they're in the toughest, especially AAA, they're in one of the toughest regions in high school football, period. That AAA region, they're playing Brentwood Academy, Lipscomb Academy. Those are both, teams that have kids in the pros, kids at high-level colleges, and I think it's just hard for those teams to compete with the Nashville and Chattanooga schools. You look at Baylor and McCallie on the other side of the state that are both nationally ranked programs, and they run into those teams in the playoffs. So I think that's more of the thing there. Is just that those teams are good, but it's just who they're unfortunately having to play. And I guess in recent history, I haven't been here a super long time, but they haven't quite been able to get over that hump. But those are certainly good teams, and with plenty of talented kids.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Christian Brothers specifically. I think they had Knoxville Catholic that came in. I think it was last year, it might have been the year before. But Knoxville Catholic was like the head honcho kind of that year, and you were kind of figuring out like, okay, like what is Thomas McDaniel specifically with Christian Brothers going to be able to cook up with a team like that? I think you bring up an excellent point. The Nashville kind of East Tennessee side of things on the private school side. It's just really, really strong year after year. You're talking about national contending level high school. So we'll have to see what things look like this year. Again, those Jamborees start tonight at 6 p.m. They'll run kind of a quarter running clock-ish, couple of series against each team that's participating. And then week 1 is next week or the week after?
Next week.
Next week, all right. So here it comes. High school football on the way. Make sure you keep up with Wendell Shepherd. Tell them where they can find you, my man.
Commercialappeal.com. All my work's there on the high school sports page. Twitter, Wendell SJR_. All my stories and game highlights and stuff will be there. So.
All right, keep up with them. This is a rising star in the industry. These guys will be here for a little bit. When we come back, I'm going to take a little break. The Tigers have named a starter for week 1 on the college level. That is the Memphis Tigers. We'll tell you who will be taking snaps under center. That's next.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24+. The 24+ TV app, streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24+, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain.
Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. The storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
How big that storm system was.
On weather impact alert days, stream extended coverage on 24+. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24+. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene, faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24+. Download free on your TV now.
Morant and Kool-Aid announced a collaboration on his Ja 2s, the Ja 2 Kool-Aid colorway, also known as the Mixed Berries colorway. Morant gifted pairs of that colorway to the Jet Academy at the Nike EYBL AAU tournament at the Memphis Sports and Events Center this weekend. But they are not the only ones. Drew Hill was also gifted a pair of Ja 2 Mixed Berries.
This is by far the best promotional item that has ever been sent.
Go ahead and bring them out. Let's bring them out. Let's see what we.
So first of all, in the top, we gotta appreciate the oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I also want to say to Kool-Aid, by the way, I hadn't drank Kool-Aid in like 15 years. After these showed up, I went. They put some packets in here.
Packs? Yeah,
I went and made Kool-Aid, and it was just as delicious as it was when I was younger.
You obviously are a Melrose alum yourself. What would you say about the talent from the track side of things that can come out of Memphis? We talk so much about the basketball talent that comes out of this town, but from a track perspective, what do you see as you do this year after year?
Actually, we have 2 gold medalists out of Melrose. My teammate Sheila Eccles was the one that gave Flojo the baton in 1988. We were teammates at Melrose. And then Kennedy McKinley is a boxer. So to be able to have...
Welcome back. Memphis Tigers gearing up for the first game of the year on August 30th against Chattanooga. It appears they have named a starter, at least internally. College football insider Pete Thamel says that Brendan Lewis will take the snaps as the starter on week 1. Lewis is a 6-year senior on his 3rd school, but he's the only one in that QB room who's gotten live reps in a game. 35 starts to his credit. He'd been competing for the job with redshirt freshman Arrington Maiden and freshman A.J. Hill. When I spoke to Lewis a few weeks ago, he was very confident his experience could give him an edge.
I've seen a lot of football. I mean, I've been playing for so long, and I've just seen how things go. I know every single defense. I know where to go with the ball. I know the certain situations and what to do here, what to do there.
Tennessee Titans in joint practices with the Atlanta Falcons. 2 teams getting real familiar with each other this week. Day 1 went kind of kumbaya, but then day 2 got scrappy during the period where media could not record. A couple of scuffles, including one involving Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. doing some of the yapping. At the end of the day, though, it's always all love.
Yeah, he started it on that one on team 1. But again, those guys in Atlanta, they protecting their quarterback, which they were supposed to do.
You know, it's just 2 teams face each other, just competing, and guys, you know, everyone's out here to prove themselves. You know, prove it as a team, and just, you know, sometimes it'll cross that boundary just a little bit, and you know, we were able to reel it back in, you know, and just get back to playing ball.
Making a lot of decisions these days. Switch from number 13 to number 8. He's getting into cryptocurrency now. The crypto exchange company BTCC announced that Jackson will be a global ambassador, and he's expected to appear in marketing for them, fan engagement opportunities with the brand. They're trying to make cryptocurrency more mainstream, and who else can you go to than Jaren Jackson Jr., Mr. Foundation himself. Coming up, we're going to put a bow on the show with a special version of the best thing I saw this week.
On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you.
Championship in my town.
I think the key to this game is going to be how much can that defense slow down? This week, that means finding a way to beat 3 and 4 Charlotte.
And honestly, this is going to be kind of a proving ground, another statement win that Ryan Silverfield could get.
Because he played a lot against Rudy Gobert. He seemed to match up really well against Rudy Gobert. It is a stars league. It is a players league. And they're going to have to get in the paint in this one because Michigan State is so good around the perimeter. And we talk so much about the basketball talent that comes out of this town, but from a track perspective, what do you see as you do this year after year?
Oh yeah.
And nobody really expected him to be what he has become on this team. It's a huge loss. So yeah, no, they got me. No real best thing I saw this week because I'm ending this show on a kind of a sad note. This is my last show here on the 24th floor. I am taking a job in my hometown of Atlanta, be closer to my family, be closer to my extended friend group, and continue this dream of being a sportscaster. Hosting the show has really been the honor of a lifetime. I started it out with my teammates, Rachel and Caleb, and put this show together from scratch in a cave with a box of scraps like my guy Tony Stark. Our guy Rich came in on the tail end, and we've been going ever since then. Since then, I've been able to do so many cool stories, interview Olympians, interview megastars in media, NBA ball players, and just have fun conversations with so many of my friends in the Memphis media space. When we started this thing, I didn't know what to expect. They say get it off the ground, and that's what I did. But I'm grateful to ABC 24 for the opportunity to try, to throw things at the wall and see what sticks, and to develop new skills that require me to do something nobody else in Memphis was doing, at least on the local media side. I will miss Memphis greatly, but this isn't goodbye, just a see you later. So for the final time, that's the show for today. Thank you to Michael Wallace and Wendell Shepherd for joining today's program. Thank you to Leanna Davis, Richard Denson, Jared Robinson, Sidney Jones, and everyone else who helped make this show happen behind the scenes. And thank you for watching the show. The 24th floor lives on. My colleague Ruben Diaz and producer Rich going to take over and keep this thing going. Until next time, whatever that is, I will see you later.